Tánaiste, it's 10 weeks today, this week, since the lid was lifted on the appalling collapse in standards at Cervical Check and the failure to communicate the collapse in that system. It's 10 weeks since the courage of Vicky Phelan in fighting her case and resisting enormous legal pressure to sign a gagging order committed to the public domain. And let's never forget that if Vicky Phelan had signed that gagging order, we may never have heard publicly of what's facing hundreds of women across the country. It's 9 weeks, Tánaiste, since Emma McMahon stopped the country in its tracks on Morning Ireland and shook it to its core by her interview that morning. And Tánaiste, if you need to hear the impact of this failure of the state on people's lives, please listen to Emma's latest interview with Miriam O'Callaghan just a few minutes ago on the Sean O'Rourke programme, where she described how her condition has deteriorated because of a failure. It's 9 weeks since there was an emergency cabinet meeting, since the CEO of the HSE resigned, since there was promises from the Taoiseach, from Minister Harris, that they were going to do everything to resolve this, every resource possible, that there will be no delays. And today, though, we see the actual false reality of all of those promises. RT News, you know the organisation that the Taoiseach has a special place in his heart for, are reporting that the independent review of 3,000 smear tests has yet to begin. This isn't new news. Justine McCarthy in the Sunday Times on the 17th of June also reported that this was likely to happen. This review was announced by the Taoiseach in this House on the 2nd of May. And at that stage, the Taoiseach himself personally committed that that review will be completed by the end of May. Today is the 5th of July. The review has yet to commence. Tánaiste, can you ask, why did the Taoiseach come in here and make such a promise to a group of women who have already been let down by the state when he knew he couldn't keep it? When he made that announcement on the 2nd of May, he said he wanted to restore confidence in our cancer screening programmes. We all want him to do that. We all want you all to do that. But all we got on the 2nd of May was words. Words to get him through Taoiseach's questions that day. Words that have clearly had no follow-through. And that lack of follow-through means that the confidence that we all want restored is further undermined today. Tánaiste, I don't want answers, I don't want sympathy from you today, I want actually a plan. I want you to know that you understand the pain and the worry that women are going through at the moment. Do you understand the distress and the worry that their families are going through? I don't want you to try and get out of here and hope we don't ask questions again, because we're going to keep asking. We're going to keep asking questions. I want you to outline an exact timeline for the review to commence and when will it be finished. Are there any plans to adjust the scope of the scholarly inquiry, because this review is important to its findings? And finally, Tánaiste, can you confirm the figures delivered to PSC this morning that there are now 221 women affected? And can you confirm that all of those women have received medical cards and financial support as promised by the Taoiseach on the 2nd of May? Tánaiste, you said you encourage questions, but you've just shown you're not so good at giving answers. The government, the Taoiseach, promised that the review would be completed by the end of May. Nobody else made that commitment in this House. Leo Varadkar made it in the seat that you're now sitting. And yes, it's complex, and yes, there's science involved, and we want it done properly. Nobody else made the timetable. Leo Varadkar did, and you have failed to deliver. You were given a heads up on the 17th of June that there was a problem, and yet it took Fergal Bowers today to actually bring this out, that you have done nothing on it. Secondly, you're learning the lessons. What lessons do you think are learned by further undermining confidence? And again, I ask you, have all of the women affected asked you to confirm the figure? Can you confirm the figure as presented by the HSE today? And have all of those women received medical cards and the financial supports that were guaranteed to them? Or are they still going to be dragged through the courts in the way Vicky Phelan were?
Deputy Tánaiste.